Hey,
All right, here we go. I'm gonna. Are you ready, Jay?
I think we're up.
Okay. Hello, everybody. I'm TQ with my brother JQ, and we've got Lisa from the Merz Tea Department, Herbs and Tea Department here. Hey, Lisa.
Hello. Hi, everybody.
Yeah,
Happy
welcome.
tea time. Happy Monday.
Happy Monday. And we had a little last minute change, right? We're not. We had. I think we had teas that were drinking oat straw, and then we decided to just throw a curveball to everybody.
Yes.
And a complete curveball, which I think a lot of people will be upset about. All right, we're drinking catnip.
Yes. Well, we're staying in the Nervine family of
Nice.
herbs. So oat straw was looking a little low in inventory. So I didn't want anybody to we'd have a run on oat straw because everyone would get so excited. Um,
Yeah,
so we have a little bit. So if you still want oat straw, you can get it. But so we're
yeah.
doing another
Instead, you wanted to get
nerve
me super
tonifying
excited because
herb.
of catnip. Yeah,
Yes.
I thought, yeah,
Yes, if either of you are part feline, then we're going to have an issue.
yeah.
But
What's up, Dan McHugh? How you doing? It's a good friend of a friend of mine from grade school just said hello on
oh,
our feed.
nice,
So I'll be shouting people out, Lisa, as they say hi
cool.
and join us. But yeah, so the Nirvana, I didn't mean to interrupt you with my poor cat joke, but it is, I did kind of say that, we'll see if any of us are part cat because we won't be able to sit still.
Yeah, yeah. You never know. I mean, herbs are a really personal thing, so they're going to affect people in different ways. So
Yeah.
see what happens.
And I think this is an aside, but I think, like I'm a dog person in general. I love dogs. But I think personally, I'm a cat, and my wife is a cat person. But I think personally, like in her being, she's more of a dog. So I wonder if we're
Interesting.
attracted to the opposite. I don't think, probably there's no, this isn't scientific and it's stupid, but
Wow.
it
Is it
interests me.
though?
Yeah, I don't know.
Do you have some lead?
I would like
Are
to
you
know.
are you well versed in astrology, Lisa?
No, I'm a recreational astrologer. I enjoy it very much, but don't trust me about anything that I say. So,
That's the best kind, actually.
mhm,
Just throw stuff out there and
I
Well,
like
I
see
it.
was
everybody
thinking
wins.
about it like last night, actually, weirdly that you mention it. And I have to say, you know, as much as, you know, I think people can often kind of like dismiss astrology very quickly. And certainly there's some times where you're like, this is a little out there for me, right? But I mean, I was looking at this. I have this piece of art above my bed that says, "The person you love is 72.8% water." And
Yeah.
it made me realize like I've always loved that piece of art, and I've always loved the concept that like this person that you put so much on is generally water, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so how, of course, if the moon could pull the entire ocean in and then let it come back up, like of course we would be heavily affected by
Of
that, right?
course. Well, I think of it as that
Yeah,
thing where we're all made of stardust, right? Like we're all made of the same stuff. So why not? Like maybe the planets affect us. I don't know. But, if they
yeah,
do, I want to be the first to know about it. I don't want to be caught off guard. I got to keep track of this stuff. So,
yeah,
And then I was thinking, the person you hate is also 72.8% water, right? So
yeah.
really like you can hang on to this stuff, but it's really just you're just mad at water mostly, you know.
yeah. And some configuration of other bits, right? It's like,
God,
um, yeah,
Lisa, can
spoken
you
like a
tell us more
Scorpio.
about catnip?
I can certainly do my best. Yeah. Like I said, it's a nervine, so it's a tonic for your nervous system. It's in the mint family,
yeah.
so
I
it
was
has
gonna
a lot
say,
of those.
tastes kind of. There's a minty. It like goes minty without ever getting all the way to the coolness of peppermint or something.
Yeah, I was gonna say you said coolness, but it doesn't have like that hot bite, that mint
Yeah,
has, which is one of the reasons I like it. You can use it for some of those same issues like digestive support and things like that. But mainly, I like it for its calming nature.
And so when
Which,
you
yeah,
see like when you're at like Home Depot or Gethsemane, I'll shout out a local business.
yeah.
What do you uh is cat mint the same thing?
Do you know?
I don't know.
No, I don't
I
know.
would guess that it would be the same thing. I'd have
I
to see
mean, we
the.
have a ton of this in the backyard. It looks identical to this. It has all these purple flowers coming off of it, and the stems are filled with what looks like mint leaves.
Mhm. That sounds like catnip. Is that something that you bought as cat mint?
No, it's so I'm looking it up. Catnip is Nepeta cataria, and catmint is Nepeta
Oh,
Messini. So it's a catnip has a weedier appearance, while catmint is often used as a pretty flowering perennial in beds. Catmint flowers more continuously than catnip, but they both are part of the mint family and both belong to the Nepeta genus.
okay.
That's
Cool.
just off the top of my head. I didn't even realize I.
You're good to
Yeah,
have around in so
yeah,
many
yeah. Just
ways.
sometimes, I tap into this knowledge. Whew, whew.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Lisa, what's working been like for you? Tell us. I
well,
think
can I preface that by saying Lisa started out running teas. You were with us part time and have recently joined us full time, which we're very excited about.
Me too.
And really, you're kind of going to be helping take us our tea and herbs and teas sort of sales and department to the next level. So
level up.
Hmm.
I want to set the stage and congratulate you. So thank you for joining us.
Thank you. Thank you. Really happy and excited to be part of this newish venture here. The teas are kind of taking off on their own. Like when I started here almost 3 years ago in sales, I think. And part time was almost not enough to get this job done. Like teas are hundreds of pounds of tea in a year that I don't know if people realize how much we sell. And we're saying tea, but let's be clear, like herbs, it's
Herbs,
mainly
yeah.
herbs.
We don't do a ton of tea business.
No, we don't.
We do
So
herbs used as teas, right?
yeah, yeah. Um,
Chai. Chai.
so yeah, so I really should be the herb lady, but that doesn't have the same
Tea lady.
ring to it.
You're the latest in a long line of awesome tea ladies, starting with
Yeah.
Mrs. Novak,
Mrs.
Mhm.
Novak was the founding
the
tea lady.
original,
Yeah.
then my Aunt Joanne,
Okay.
and
Then Ida,
Ida.
then
I think
Hamida.
Ida may have preceded Aunt Joanne, and then Ida was downstairs, no?
Yeah,
And then
yeah,
Joanne took over and then ran it for a while, right?
yeah, Hamida.
Hamida, and then what about Romanian woman was George's
Anna,
what?
Anna.
Anna.
Yeah,
Me, I was a tea lady for a little
I
while.
just learned this that you were a
yeah.
tea lady for a while.
Mike had to take over for a while, but then he made me do it because he didn't want to be the tea lady anymore.
Who
You,
would not
yeah,
want to be the tea lady? I don't understand
I
this.
know he was like, I
It's
don't
the
want to do that.
best job
I
in
was like
here.
volunteer. I'm like, I want to be tea lady.
tea lady.
It's the
I
best.
think even
It is pretty awesome.
when I left and we like there was a couple gaps. I think Lori also jumped.
Lori did part time. She did tea lady. She did a stint as tea lady. So
We should have like a tea lady wall,
Yeah, like
for all these people
that's a great idea.
yeah,
commemorated.
I
Because
As
agree.
they're
long
all
as I
just
get to be on
legends
the
in
tea
my
lady
mind,
wall.
I don't know them.
I agree. We start by asking mom and dad, Jay, to get a picture of Mrs. Novak for us.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
That would be great. But yeah, I agree. Crucial position. Pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Doing what we do. And here we are drinking tea, and we're drinking herbs, drinking catnip in our tea. But this goes back. There's not much that what am I saying? There's not much we do right now. There's a number of things, but there's not much that so directly goes back all 145 years in our history, right?
Mm.
Like certain formulas, we have books of formulas, and like all the ones that had opium in it, we obviously don't make anymore from like the late 1800s, but they were part of what our history, right? Everything had opium. But the teas, these have not changed.
Yeah.
The sources may have changed, but they were drinking tea back in 1875, herbs as teas, and we
Yeah.
still are.
Well, that's what's so cool about it because it's like not just does it go all the way back here, but all the way back like 1,000 years to like the earliest natural medicine was people finding plants in the ground and making medicine out of them. And it sort of all starts right here, you know.
Yeah,
Pharmaceuticals start from trying to isolate plant constituents and make them into medicines, um,
yeah,
modern medicine.
totally.
Yeah.
The idea that, you know, we use the term drug and everyone thinks it's made in a laboratory, but
The more and more
the
I learn
active
about it, the more I
ingredients,
love it. It's just so fascinating.
yeah, throughout nature, right? So, I want to say hi. Therese joined, and she won some fragrance samples from Friday. So, Therese, you got some fun stuff coming your way.
This is a
Um,
pretty pleasant tea to be drinking.
this
I,
is
Isn't
great.
it nice?
yeah, like that slight
Don't you feel
mint never
soothed?
gets like too minty, and it's just really lovely.
It's just earthy. And I think that people would be surprised because you just think of catnip for your kitties and
Yeah, and
probably
it
don't
gets them
think about
high,
it too
right?
much for yourselves. But
Does it get cats high?
yeah, oh yeah,
Yeah, have you ever
totally
seen one?
wasted.
They go crazy.
Yeah,
It's
yeah, but
like,
like amped up high, right? Like
yeah, it's
Hmm.
like giving
Hmm.
a meth or something like that.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Coke for cats. But
Yeah.
then, but then, but it has actually the opposite effect on humans.
Hmm.
And so, and again, Dad always mentions like when people come in for stomach stuff, he gives them nerve tea, and they're like, "No, no, I need a stomach tea," and he's like, "That's what it is," you know?
Well, you
Like,
were talking about, I don't remember which episode it was, but you were talking about the gut brain connection.
yeah.
Um, and that's so true. Anytime you're feeling anxiety, it's probably coming from your lower brain, that needs to
Yeah.
be
Your
calmed and
abdominal
soothed.
brain. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I just want to say, like, it's pleasant. This is nice. I am dramatically calmed down. Part of it is talking to you, both of you, but I'm dramatically calmed down. I feel like I was on a angry technical data
Mm,
kick earlier, where my head was in data fields and I was mad about things aren't working the way that I want. And that's the mindset that I was trying to shake as I got on this call, but was feeling again, perfect words, like I was feeling like unsettled in my gut. You know what I mean? I really was.
mhm.
I was roiling as we got on this tea time, and I would say within the first 3 minutes, I felt like my stomach and my intestines unclench, and just felt like, okay, everything's gonna work out.
Everything is working out.
Awesome.
Everything is
Yeah.
always working out already.
That's what tea time is for. Everybody should take one in the middle of the day.
Yeah, and I'm a massive tea drinker. So like green tea, you know this, Lisa. I'm always green tea is the China Wu Yuan jasmine green that we have is my
Mhm.
favorite tea in the world. Every day that I don't drink it is one of the least good days of my life. And so I do that all the time. But what I'm finding is drinking herbs in the middle of the day, and I eat after this, like before lunch, relaxing. I know there's like a good thing to do digestively after, but I'm actually finding like doing these herbs rather than straight up tea in the middle of the day has been such a joy for me.
Hmm.
Mm.
I think that makes sense, though. If you're like, I always take bitters before I eat. A lot of people do. But, it's all coming from the same place. It makes sense that herbs before lunch would be nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Danny McHugh is saying, Danny, sorry, I can't help but call him Danny. Um, I have leftover mother's milk tea. Can I drink it? I'm male. Yes, of course you can.
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken, the mother's milk blend, at least the traditional medicinals ones, if that's what he has, is a bunch of like calming digestive herbs that are like
Yeah.
and all kind of stuff.
I
And
think motherwort and raspberry and
so you can
Oh,
totally,
the galactagogues, right?
yeah.
yeah.
That's what I was looking up to make sure I got the spelling right.
And fenugreek, while it's used to increase and stimulate milk production in mothers, it is also it's great for lowering blood sugar. It's It's good for a bunch of reasons. So yes, you can totally take it.
I
It's
see chefs are using fenugreek
cholesterol.
a lot now.
What's
Is
up?
it a hot?
I
Is
see
it
a
a
lot of
hot?
fenugreek in food.
I know I'm seeing that too. I think they like that they're playing with this like maple syrupy element,
Uh-huh.
like a fun way to get that flavor in without being sugary, you know?
Yeah, it's interesting. Yeah, so yeah, drink the mother's milk tea. Go for it.
Yeah,
They're
I
all,
would.
like I said, they're all going to have a personal effect, like according to your body. There's certainly cautions to be aware of, but not as much as some other substances you might choose to put in your body. So I wouldn't worry about it too much.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I think we kind of generally say like, if you're pregnant or are on some medication or whatever for something, then it's maybe, take the time to really ask and do some research to know. I mean, always you should be careful, but a lot of times with these herbs, tea is such a gentle way to get an herb. It's, it's more gentle than taking a pill of extracted active ingredient or
Yeah.
a big dose of an extract in an alcohol form. It feels like that's one of the things that I was kind of thinking is that like I'm enjoying this way of getting herbs. It feels so gentle and actually it feels so noticeable the good benefits. And so
Yeah.
part of it is like try a cup, Dan, and if you don't like it, then don't do it anymore. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
And if you like the way you feel, drink it up.
Well,
Lisa,
what's so
what?
cool about,
Oh,
oh, I'm
go ahead.
sorry, what?
No, go ahead.
What's so cool about herbs is this like whole plant um, effect is that it will have this active compound that will operate on whatever issue you're having, but then it'll balance with something else so that you don't get like, you
Yeah,
know, like a weird stomach issue like you have with aspirin. No, if you drink willow bark tea, then it'll take care of the pain, but it'll also soothe your stomach at the same time, you know.
yeah,
So plants are made to like um, balance everything in that way. And it's so cool. It is so soothing. Um, yeah.
yeah. No, I think it's funny the language we use, like plants. And I'm not saying this to make fun of you. It's like I do it too. It's like plants are made to do this. Like, oh, are they made to do that? It's like,
Yes.
and I only say that to say like
Humans are
the
narcissistic.
amazing thing
So
about, there
yes.
are plants. It's two things to say they're not made. We find them and we've developed together in many ways. You could argue that they're made, but I don't want to have that argument now. But like they're
That's
also
not what I
because
was
like
saying.
yeah, but also like if that were the case, there are also plants made to kill you. Do you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
there
Oh
are
yeah.
some that like you definitely don't want to mess with. So
True.
I feel like it's more like the herbs that we have found are useful often have these self-balancing elements. And when we take their one constituent outside of their uh, natural context, we might gain something, but we often lose something as well.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Absolutely.
Anyway,
Lisa,
I
how
was
did
also
you
just
how did
having fun
you
teasing you.
like well, like why did you get so excited about the teas? Like is there parts of your personal history like were you always green thumb? Like did you always
Mm-mm.
garden? Like what draws you to that world?
Um, what draws me that way? I mean, I've been into like natural remedies and things for a long time. Like since I was a teenager, I gave up, aspirin and, over the counter stuff and discovered Merz in the early 90s. So I was shopping for supplements mostly here and like elixirs and, whatever, but wasn't into the herbs at all. Maybe drank chamomile and peppermint tea like everyone else.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, but it actually wasn't until I started this job that I realized what a huge area of study and interest that this is and that would be for me. Um, it kind of opened up a world for me. Um, and I've just been, I started studying like a year ago online. I started taking a class with the Herbal Academy, which is
Oh,
a
cool.
fantastic resource for anyone that wants to dive in at any level.
Cool. Yeah,
Um,
you mentioned that. That's great.
they're
So
great.
have you used the herbs at the store beyond for tea? Have you made your own extracts? Have you been doing anything
A
else?
little bit. I've made an elderberry syrup.
Cool.
Um, I next on my
Like
list
for
is
the
to
winter season, you made it?
I take it every day.
You do every day.
Yeah, like as a um, supplement to my wellness formula every day. Like the last 6 months, it's been all about immune boosters and nervines. So,
Yeah. Well, and elderberry has a nice antiviral sort of, right? It's like the
yep.
virus specific is where its strength lies.
Yeah,
In
I
my,
give it to my kids every night before bed. I mean, it's in the Herb Farm immunity boosting blend. They have a kids one that I give to the kids every night. It's great.
I think Lisa, you're frozen up. We'll see if maybe the Wi-Fi froze. We'll talk for a second while we hopefully Lisa will join back in.
Um,
Uh, so in the meantime, hey, what's up to John? How you doing, John? Nice to see you. And Mary Josephine, always nice to hear from you. Thank you both for joining us today. Um, let's see.
oh, we
All
lost.
right. Yeah, maybe Lisa will join back in. But
Anyway, how you doing, man? You good?
yeah, I am. I'm. Yeah, I'm. It's Monday. I'm here.
How's everybody else doing out there? Anyone ever tried catmint or catnip? Um, I want to know if other people have
Yeah,
drank
and if
this.
you're
I
drinking
mean,
something today, maybe shout that out and we can talk about it.
I'm really,
I'm
really
really liking
digging
this.
the flavor of this tea and the calming aspect of it. I love this mild mint. Um, oh, I have some news for you, T,
Yeah.
and everyone else out there. This would be cool because we can even give one away. Um, I made candles last night.
You did?
Yeah. You
Woo!
told, you told me to look into it,
I
how we
know.
can make our own candles. You're like, we sell all these other candles all the time,
And we still want to be
and you still
clear.
want to, but you're
We
like,
sell
we
some
should
great
have some
candles.
of our own, right?
Mhm.
So I've been studying it for like the past month since you told me that. You give me these like outside the box research projects often, not often, but every once in a while. That's
Yeah,
what spurred our beard oil, right?
yeah,
That's what we've done a few things, right?
yeah,
Sometimes it's because we have an idea. Sometimes it's to replace a product we can't get. For instance, our bear's garlic extract, right?
yeah.
So I made like classic soy wax candles last night in little like tins, in 8-ounce tins, the same size as like the archipelago ones.
Wow.
And I did,
And are they scented?
yeah, because I had all those fragrance oils from when you bought me that perfume kit back in the day.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I did. I bought you a massive perfume kit. That was
I have,
one of our projects that I wanted to send you on. That it was maybe a tall order at the time, but I think it's great.
well, it was, I was actually living in New York at the time, and it was, it's a massive kit.
Yeah, I mean it
Anyway,
was.
I busted it out, reorganized it last night, and I have like 100 fragrance oils. It's amazing. And I can tell you what the ones that I made smell like. Do you want to hear about them?
Yeah.
Let me see. Recent. I had a. I made a document because I knew I was going to lose this quickly. Uh, so I made 3 candles that are grapefruit, orange flower, and spearmint.
That's right up my alley.
And then I made 6 candles that are. This one's a little more out there, but green wood, green jasmine, frankincense, tobacco, bay leaf, and cedar.
Ooh.
And then I made 3 candles that are And this one really took the cake for me so far. We haven't burned them. I got to let them cure for a
Yeah,
few days.
yeah.
But Earl Grey tea, cucumber, citrus basil, and orris root.
Ooh,
And I want to call that one tea time at the apothecary.
wow.
Because it's like tea and cucumber sandwiches was my idea, right?
Yeah,
In like an old British tea place, you know?
wow. I like it. I can't wait to burn one. So how long do you need? How long do you need to let them cure?
Well, they've set now, so they've set for 24, almost 24 hours. And so I think you have to cure them for 3 to 5 days or up to 2 weeks, they say, and that helps the throw when you actually do burn it. These are things I'm learning. I don't know. So I have them uncapped and they're just sitting, you know.
Cool.
But they look beautiful. They're great. I bought all the gear. I have the pitcher, the bun, like the hot plate. I got these giant bags of wax. I have the wicks, the wick stickers, and like the warning labels, and like we got to make our own stickers for the top. It'll be really fun.
For this test, did you worry about lead-free wicks, or do these ones have lead in them?
Lead? I don't think they have any lead.
Most the original wicks had a it's like rope wrapped around a thin wire of lead in the old days. So something to look into. Check your wick before we, get into.
They are lead and zinc free.
Okay, good. Huh. So anyway, we just got some word. It looks like Lisa, somehow our Wi-Fi went down and Lisa was on that. So we'll have to have her back sometime soon to continue the conversation. Sorry, Lisa. We're just getting into the good stuff. Going to talk about her blends and things like that. But
I honestly thought like making candles was gonna be way more labor intensive than it was. And it was not. I mean, there's a lot of steps, but nothing was difficult. And if you have like a thermometer, like you're good to go, basically, you know? And it was like we had like the three kids were awake while I did it. It wasn't like I had to wait till they were down and then I got in the lab. Like
Yeah.
it was just on the kitchen counter and I was just pouring stuff and then waiting a while playing with them and then just like taking the temperature and being like, okay, it's time to do that part, you know? And JJ got kind of into it and did it with me. It was
That's
great.
cool.
Yeah.
Nice. Well, I can't wait to try it out.
But I was surprised that like 1 pound of wax
Yeah.
makes 3 candles, you know?
I mean,
I mean, it makes sense, but
Yeah.
in my head, I was like, I'm going to be able to pour 20 candles out of this for some reason. But I like the tins, but I want to kind of know what people think of. I'm kind of the mindset that like if we got like a really cool jar that actually had a cap, like an old school, almost like kitcheny, a little bit like old school kind of jar with a cap. I like those. Oh, it looks like we might get Lisa back now.
Cool. Um, it's funny because I don't like those.
You don't
I
like?
always, I always feel like as soon as it's in a kitchen jar, it's like it
No,
might
not
be
a
a nice
kitchen
candle,
jar. I don't mean.
but yeah.
Look at this.
Hey,
Hey, welcome back.
I had to have my IT people get on that really quick. I'm so sorry
Yeah.
about that.
Hey Jay, will you rename her Lisa instead of Jonathan?
I will.
You know.
I have a lot of aliases here. I like to keep the mystery.
Yeah, exactly. Welcome back. We missed you. We
Thank you.
started
Sorry
talking
about that.
Yeah, we started talking about candles in the meantime.
Oh,
Jay
I
made
like
some
candles.
candles last night as a project. Um,
You have a
Nice.
new
I
name.
make candles too.
you
You
do?
do?
Yeah.
How do you do it?
I don't know, probably the
Is it
most
soy
basic
wax?
way you
Are you
can.
doing
I
soy
use soy wax and mason jars, and I haven't figured out. I do use fragrance, but I haven't found something that I totally love yet. Do you do essential oils, or what do you do?
I'm using fragrance oils right now because the pour is a little more.
It's safer anyway. You don't want to mess with essential oils generally.
I mean, I'm
but-
interested in trying it, but this was my first time doing it. So I was following a recipe that specifically was like, this is the beginner
Hmm.
candle, use a fragrance oil. Essential oils can get tricky.
For
They
sure.
make pockets. They sometimes don't like mix in all the way, and then you get one that's heavily scented and one that's not. So the fragrance oils are easier to just stir in, and then you get a more uniform throw.
Yep.
Candle.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, that sounds like how I've been doing it that way for a couple years. I haven't
cool.
ventured out into it too much, but it's fun.
Yeah, so we're like doing a little experiment. T wanted me to look into it, see like, if they come out great, and then potentially maybe we can have. There are like semi-automatic machines out there that you can like kind of you do all the same things, but then you can line up 100 candles and just press something
Oh,
full.
Yeah,
yeah.
I've seen that in action before, and that's what I was saying to him. I said, like, if we get something we like, then there's no reason we can't do sort of like small batches done in an in a semi-automated
Ooh,
Yeah,
fashion.
and then it's just like you just need to clean like four pieces, and everything else is just sort of a big table, essentially, right?
yeah.
Pretty cool. So we were kind of messing with that idea. And so
Yeah.
anyway, I was telling T I made one like I didn't I was joking, but I was calling it tea time at the apothecary because it has Earl Grey tea, and then I tried to make like cucumber sandwiches in the smell of it.
What?
And like the wood of like an old tea house or something
You were
like it all.
inspired by the fragrance episode on Friday,
Yeah.
trying
Yeah,
to get
well,
all those notes in there.
many years ago when we first got into fragrance, I bought him a giant, probably like $300 set of fragrance oils that were designed for like someone to, who wanted to start out making their own fragrances. And it
Oh,
never really went anywhere, except I didn't know, it was like, it was good because that was what he pulled out yesterday. So
and you can just use those in candles?
We'll see.
they're the juice
Okay.
that we'll see. Yeah, there was to say, you,
Certainly they look fine, and they are fragrance oils.
Yeah,
They say there are fragrance oils for candle use, and but I have a feeling a lot of those overlap. So
sure.
one of the candles is like a little like kind of like shimmery on top.
sweating,
What?
sweating.
It's not even sweating. It's just like I can't even explain it. It has a
Well, just
slightly
light it
different
outside or something. Don't light it
slightly,
in.
slightly
Yeah.
different texture on the top, and it feels like when I put those oils in, I was like, these oils may not be candle oils, like, but the other ones, all the very thin ones that I used, all went into the candle wax, no problem. So
Yeah, light that one outside. Hey, Dan is asking
Sure.
about, I'm wondering about sage and oregano. I assume not for candles, but in general. Um, we've talked a little bit about those before, but, great respiratory herbs in general,
Hmm.
right? So
yeah,
anything else you can tell? Oh, your essential oil candles, he's saying. Pardon me, Dan.
Oh,
Um, yeah,
yeah,
I don't have a
nice.
lot to say about it other than, oregano, I gotta say, what you end up with oregano is essentially sometimes when you use it in a scent, it's very hard to do without sort of smelling like pizza and kind of that sort
Hmm.
of like Italian restaurant scent, which may be nice around the kitchen or something like
it's
that, but
so strong. It's
it's
so
very,
strong.
very strong. I don't really see a lot of people using oregano as a home scent unless they really are using a tiny bit, burying it underneath other stuff.
Frankly, it's really expensive too.
Yeah, that's true.
Like the straight oil of oregano, there's a reason that a tiny bottle of it costs $20-$30 sometimes,
Yeah.
because you only need a drop or two, and then you're like, even taking it is like comical at times.
Yeah. I mean, I have oregano sitting on my shelf right now. Just
Yeah, John says early stages of the Merz scented candle. So one of them
Yeah.
kind of,
Born
I'm
right here.
serious, started to come out a little bit like Merz,
yeah,
and I'm very
Really?
excited about it. Yeah.
yeah, cool. We have to do a burn on the call sometime, I mean on the tea time sometime.
Yeah, that's
Um,
cool. That's a good idea.
so Lisa, what are you working on lately? One of the things we've talked about a few things in your role here that could be exciting for people who are interested in herbs and teas. So
Hmm.
can you tell us about that a little bit?
Um, very early stages of trying to create some new blends. So we have wonderful blends here right now that you probably can't find anywhere else. Those are mostly based on the Maria Trebin recipes and kind of embellished on by our probably pharmacists and early tea ladies, depending on what herbs were available and things. But so those are fantastic, but we haven't had any new blends as far as I know in quite some time. So we just kind of want to update that.
And you're working on Lady T 3.0, right?
Right. We've been working on Lady Tea.
We got it. Greta tried it last night.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
What'd you think?
I don't know. Maybe she'll
We don't
chime
know.
in here. Yeah.
I'll
Sitting
check
next to
with
Lisa.
Greta.
They can
Yes.
chat. She's like 15 feet away.
Yeah, so that's in its early stages. But yeah, we'd love to hear like what other types of blends people would be interested in us
Yeah.
having. I'm thinking about a sleep blend. Since I've been into all these nerve teas, I want to try. We have a nerve tea already, but it is valerian based, and I sort of wanted to make something that was without valerian, you know, more of a relaxation tea
Yeah.
than a knock you on your back tea.
Greta says she's actually drinking Lady T 3.0 right now.
What?
And
No way.
it's really nice.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I got the thumbs up over there. That's awesome.
Yeah, good deal.
Yeah, I wonder if there's, one of the things we've never had is sort of like a mood blend that is
Yes.
not like a St. John's wort and something that feels more like a treat and less of a
Yes.
medicinal version. I would be interested in something like that.
Yes.
Something that's bright. We could talk about goldenrod or,
Oh,
Lemon
yeah.
balm is really nice.
Lemon
golden
balm is
balm,
like
a goldenrod,
the
lemon
king
balm,
of tonics.
a pinch
Yeah.
of lavender, something like, I'm interested in something like that.
Yeah. So yeah, just to reiterate, if you are watching, think about where what kind of effect you'd like from a tea. If you can share that, it can be a variation on what we've already said, whatever. But we'd love to get some feedback about things that we should be working on tea blends, right? So just give Lisa something to a starting point for us to go on, and we're kind of looking at getting our packaging and things ready for prime time, right?
Yep.
So doing having more formulas and being able to sort of package them in a way that they're even more appealing than they are now would be really fun.
Yeah.
Always got to be in paper tins, though. I love those.
Well,
Well,
we might have to think outside of the proverbial box. Yeah.
right, you might have to think outside of the cardboard cylinder.
Cardboard canister.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're opening it up to some
that's cool.
artistic suggestion. Another crucial blend that I think we should have is like an immunity blend, because that's a lot of what I've been doing, playing around at home, is like building the perfect COVID support blend where it's like having your lemon balm and your elderberry and, everything to like boost your immune system and calm your nerves, because that seems to be like what we all need right now.
I
Yeah.
wonder if we could come up with like a sort of like a non-instant sugary powder version of emergency. Like a hibiscus dog rose, like tons of vitamin C, very red tea, rooibos, something like mixing all of those in like a very
Oh, like a
citrusy, bright vitamin C
Like a
blend.
tea that gives you vitamin C and immune boosting at the same time.
power boost
Yeah.
tea. Yeah.
Yeah, John saying something to enhance mood, which I would definitely second. I think that would
Yeah.
be great. I was going to say also, I've not played with this a lot, and I know that Jay and I have sometimes made fun of people who are like overly enthusiastic about mate, but I'm wondering.
I used to use a pinch of it in your headache tea. That was the other thing.
I know. So what I was going to say is that, and this is going back, it's impossible to explain this long, probably like 20-year-old joke about mate guy that we have, which I won't get into. But
Kind of fascinated by this now, but okay.
I hope he's not watching, or his
He's definitely
ex-girlfriend.
watching.
What? Yeah. Anyway, but there is like here's what I would say. I don't do a lot of caffeine and a lot of uppers. I mean uppers by meaning like, sort of like things that kind of give you that energy of caffeine or whatever.
Even
Because I feel like,
cordyceps, you have to be careful, right?
yeah, like anything that tends to make people feel more energy for me is like, I feel nervous and shaky.
Maca, cordyceps, you have to be careful with all those things.
Maca makes me angry. I get like,
I
Mm.
if I do
remember
it for
those.
more than 1 or 2 days, I
I,
start to get like extremely, my fuse goes from a quarter inch to like a 32nd of an inch.
I
Dang.
remember those years. They
And
were
I'm,
awful.
yeah. And I mean that, like, I don't have a long fuse to begin with, but damn, 32nd of an inch is too short for a fuse. You can't get away
I
from it.
just made candles. Trust me, that's you need a quarter inch.
But what I was going to say is that I would love to see something with like a touch of maca, which Jay hit on. Something, I mean, mate, where where there is a slight energy boost, and also, crucially, for me at least, gets away. I don't know enough about mate, but something where you get that
Less
without getting
bitter.
the sort of tannin effect of drinking too much
Oh,
tea. Because I
yeah,
actually get a lot of like tannin issues digestively, and I find that like
Dryness.
mouth gets dry. I actually
sure.
feel like I can feel my jaw clench when I do too many tannins. It's like everything
Mm.
starts to contract.
Need
Hmm.
mate with a demulcent in it.
Yeah, yeah,
Mate with
exactly.
Mate is one that like is very strong for me, like heart palpitations strong, like beyond coffee.
Yeah, so maybe it's more like we just need to work in some amount of green tea or white tea or something that's less. There's some teas like that don't have as much of that sort of tannic
Yeah.
feel to it. Like white tea tends to be very gentle, I find.
I can't
Mm-hmm.
believe you just brought that up because that we were trying to think what was the other element in the headache tea. It was actually we were doing yarrow, nettle,
And a touch of
goldenrod,
and a
and then
touch
I
of
took a pinch, like what you would use for quarter of one cup, in for both of us. You know,
Yeah, Lisa, this was an amazing cure, like what I thought was going to be a failed day, migraine day for me, which I get like once or twice a year. Jay headed it off and got me working again. He came in and saw me just like struggling to even exist and made the
Wow.
tea, and it was like
and I think I was
20
hungover,
minutes.
so I needed it too.
Yeah. And I mean, nettles like the go-to for any sort of nutrient deficiency. Just,
Yeah, but
oh,
I find sometimes like, I don't do it anymore. I don't drink soda, but I feel like I used to feel like, when I had a bad headache, like a Coke
hmm,
would sort of
sure.
set me right. And now it's like a black tea, a cup of coffee might do it. But sometimes I just feel like it's just the touch that I need. And I think that like
Mm.
something like that in a headache blend would be
That
nice.
sounds
Or like
great.
yeah. So
You
let's play.
remember exactly what was in it, Jay?
Yeah, it was yarrow, nettle, goldenrod, and just a tiny touch of of mate.
Cool.
Yeah,
Oh, that sounds great.
it was good.
So please suggest. So why don't we give away some teas? We've got to wrap up soon. But if you have any questions about teas that come up after this, put it in the comments, and I'm sure we'll get them to Lisa, who can help us, and help us answer those. Mary Josephine saying hormone balancing teas. Yeah, that's her lady tea, lady
For
time
sure.
tea or lady tea we're talking about. She's working on right now. So certainly we could probably, once we get it to a point that we're feeling good about it, maybe we can do um, our tea time beta testing. How about that,
Yes.
Lisa? Make enough that we can beta test for people,
That would be great.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
More feedback, the better.
Yeah. So let's do that. Let's give away some catnip because it's good, and maybe let's give away some lady time as well. We'll do some giveaways. So if you comment, tell us what you're looking for or what interests you for a tea, an herbal tea, or whatever. You'll be in the running for getting some free goodies. On Wednesday, Jay and I are doing a product with amazing design. So we're going through normally when the store is fully open, we have like design classes from Columbia, School of the Art Institute in Chicago, other schools that come here to look at packaging design. So we're going to pick some of our favorite packaging design and just cover those on Tea Time.
Couteau.
Yeah, there's a
Nice.
lot of great things. And then on Friday, we have Rudy, who is the executive director of the Lincoln Square Chamber of Commerce, just talking about like what's going on in the neighborhood, our friends in restaurants and dining, how are they faring? What are we doing as a neighborhood to support them? What can we do to support your local businesses like Merz and others? All that kind of stuff. Just touching base with like community initiatives at the Lincoln Square level here, and for the city in general, I think. So that's what we're doing. But Lisa, thank you for joining us. Thank you
Yeah,
This
for
is cool
it
because
was
I think
fun.
you're gonna get. I think this is a great um, for you to get like sort of near instant feedback on your blends as you're
Yeah,
creating them. We can be trying them and then we can give them away and get feedback.
love
And
it.
if we have, if we put together smaller packs of like a few bags worth, then we can give away 5 or 10 in a day, and then with the hopes that we would get feedback from those people, and we can really, I think it could be really useful for
For
you to adjust your
sure.
blends based on that feedback, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, I would love that.
It's cool.
cool.
Awesome. Well, thank
Cool.
you everyone for joining us. Drink some
Thanks,
Lisa,
catnip
everyone.
yeah, we'd love to have
and
you back
leave it out for
sometime.
your cat.
Yeah. All right. Thanks, guys.
Bye bye. Nice
Bye.
to see you. Thank you, everybody. Much love.